Number 43, sophomore, Adam Candell. Number 40, check that, number 34, sophomore, Andrew Cruz. Number 24, sophomore, Sean Galloway. And number 13, sophomore, Mark Green. And now the starters. For Harborfields, number 11, Earl Williamson, 5'10", junior. For Westhampton Beach, number 23, 6'5", senior, Jermaine Holman. For Harborfields, number 13, 6'2", junior, Brandon Sellers. For the Hurricanes, number 12, 5'10", senior, Dale Menendez. For Harborfields, number 15, 6'1", junior, Tamarcus Jones. For Westhampton Beach, number 32, 6'3", senior, Jason Ritchie. For Harborfields, number 20, 5'9", senior, Ian Farrell. For Westhampton Beach, number 44, 6-foot sophomore, Bronson Martin. For Harborfields, number 34, 6'3", senior, Harold Roberts. And for Westhampton Beach, number 33, 6'6", junior, Dwayne Sanders. Well, this game is arrived at with great anticipation for Westhampton Beach, Brian. After losing in the Class B finals this year, they're back in that same place again. And let's see if they can do it the second time around.
Well, they have something to prove. They thought they should have won last year.
Right now we're going to have our national anthem as sung by John Spezio. Oh, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight landing, whose bright lights and the bright stars through the sitting in front on the same side where the Westhampton Beach fans are, so you're going to hear them throughout the game very loud, I'm sure. And first off, we want to thank the Westhampton Rotary Club for their generous sponsorship of this game. They'll be sponsoring Wings Over Long Island, the air show they had last year at Gobreski Airport. This summer, June 6th and 7th, you can buy tickets from any Westhampton Beach Rotarian or any other Rotary Club member for that matter. And Brian, what are the keys for this game?
Well, West Ham, I think the biggest key is their pressure D. That, predicates how their offense goes. The pressure D is the biggest thing. And I think Menendez has got to outplay the point guard for Harborfields. We don't know a lot about them. And after that, let them worry about you type of attitude, you know. Let them worry about Westhampton. Do what got you here.
Well, we know a lot about Westhampton Beach from the little I could gather about Harborfields from Coach Race. They're a team that likes to put some pressure defense on when they can, and they like to run the ball, which I don't think the Hurricanes would mind if they take that philosophy.
Good job by Harborfields securing that rebound.
Block inside against Roberts, but a good second effort.
And Harborfields is picking up full court.
Let's see how the Hurricanes deal with it. They're a team that thrives on defense, likes to mix it up, make it difficult for the other team. Now a turnover, and scoring is to Marcus Jones. Quickly, Harborfields out in front for nothing. So the Hurricanes off to a slow start. Bronson Martin getting the first basket of the game for the Hurricanes.
I think for Harborfields, they have to contain Holman and Martin, and even Menendez to an extent. And I think their offensive execution is key for Harborfields. Good fast pace to start this game, Ed. Both teams want to go up and down the court, so, you know, sit tight and enjoy the excitement here. It's going back.
Menendez working down low is called for the offensive foul.
Harborfields a full court trap and D. West Ham right now playing a 2-1-2. They're trap and D.
Harborfields works the middle. Williamson went to the basket, but it was knocked out of bounds by the Hurricanes. Hurricanes with the turnover. Menendez lays it up and in.
Great job playing the passing lanes, anticipating that pass.
Game is tied at 4. Errant pass out of bounds by the Tornadoes.
West Ham's got a lot of players on that team, so Harborfields, you got to wonder if they can sustain the full court pressure for 32 minutes.
Menendez inside to Sanders. Foul call against Harborfields.
Sanders with that different look now that he's using contact instead of those prescription goggles.
Well, Sanders certainly has some fond memories here from last year, even though his team lost in the Class B finals. That was really the game where he stepped forward and let it be known that he was going to be a player for this team, and gave the Amityville big men last year all kinds of trouble in helping the Hurricanes nearly pull off the victory.
I tell you what, his dad, I've heard, has got to go out and get him special shoes and everything. He got some big feet, that kid.
After Harborfield scored the first 4 points of the game, the Hurricanes have scored the next 6 to take a 6-4 lead. Foul against the Hurricanes.
I'll tell you what, the student sections are just loving these games. They're out there, all the student sections are standing up and making a lot of noise.
To Marcus Jones at the line for the Tornadoes. He had a big 29-point effort when Harborfields knocked off Mount Sinai in the semifinals of Class B. Jason Ritchie missing on that close-in shot. Pass out of bounds. Bronson Martin all the way down, gives to Sanders, who's fouled. Sanders will be back at the free throw line. officials for today, Larry Izzo, the gentleman with the ball, and he is joined today by John Dooley, familiar name and face, out on the East End officiating games. The way they usually do it, they'll have one Eastern Suffolk official and one Western Suffolk official for these games. Sanders makes one of two. 7-4 Hurricanes.
Hey, let's not forget the biggest key, free throws and layups there.
The defense results in a turnover. Holman to the basket. Missing from in close. Back the other way, Williamson. Ball into the hands of Williamson. Shot deflected by the Hurricanes. Williamson again.
They get refs are letting him play right now.
Good tenacity by Williamson, staying after that, after he was denied initially. 7-6, Westhampton Beach. 5 minutes left in the opening quarter. Again, full court pressure by Harborfields, making the Hurricanes work to get the ball off the court. That's Jeremy Ligon, number 30, making his first appearance.
Good job breaking that. Nice pass by Ligon.
Menendez will set up the offense.
Harborfields in a zone. In that zone, full court press, back into the zone. Looks like a 2-1-2 almost.
Hurricanes trying to free up a shooter. Holman gets it off right at the buzzer from the shot clock. Big basket by Holman.
That was nice poise right there. Nice steal by Ligon.
Ligon leads the break to Menendez. Spinning in the lane. Gets control and scores. 11-6 Hurricanes. Again, a turnover to the Hurricanes. Up ahead to Ligon, who's called for traveling. Something the Hurricanes do so very well. They can score points in spurts. You can hold them in check, and they can reel off 2, 3, 4, 5 baskets in quick succession with their defense. Sort of like a snake waiting in the grass, you know. You think you're okay, and all of a sudden you get hit.
And Mike Ford in the contest now. The block by Holman. Game like this plays right into Mike Ford's hands. He's got great hands, and when there's a lot of hands of being active, this plays into Ford's. Plays right to his game. He'll play big today.
Martin from downtown. Rebound to Harborfield.
Great job.
Quickly up ahead. Jones to the basket. Tamarcus Jones makes it 11-8 Hurricanes. Ligon tied up at midcourt.
I tell you, you can see the Harborfields guys right now, Ed, they're winded. Some of them are breathing hard already.
Martin off the mark from the outside. Jones all the way in. Scramble for the loose ball, saved by Harborfields. Sellers missing from in close. Ford with the rebound, and he is fouled.
Nice job by Ford. And Menendez was off to the races with that. There was nobody back in transition.
20-second timeout taken by Harborfield. 2:39 left in the opening quarter, and Westhampton Beach with an 11-8 lead. Big turnouts from both schools for this game. You're looking at the Harborfield side of the court. You see fans under both baskets. A lot of people, I'm sure, having to take some time off from work to get here. But they all want to see this Class B final between Westhampton Beach and Harborfield.
Well, they didn't have a chance to set up their defense that time. They just came out of their timeout, Harborfield.
Ligon pops the jumper and hits. Jeremy Ligon, the sophomore, makes it 13-8 for Westhampton Beach. And this steal by Holman. Now he does steal the ball. Up ahead to Menendez. Menendez draws the foul.
And Menendez using that tailback, getting used to all the contact. He didn't shy away from any of that contact right there, so he went right after the ball. He secured the ball, and he's thriving in this up-tempo style here.
Well, of course, he's an all-county football player as well, so having a little bit of contact certainly something I'm sure he doesn't mind too much. There was the thought, and we talked about it before the game even, and having the bigger court, though the Hurricanes have played here before, they'd have to make some adjustments into their positioning defensively, and it looks like they're in prime time shape here so far, as they've had a lot of turnovers off of their defense.
Foul against Ford over the back foul. Well, they're still running their half-court trap, so they're going to throw it at them. Harborfields is what, at 16-2? And there are 2 losses for the Sayville and Southampton. And the Sayville loss was early in the year.
Holman clears the rebound to Menendez, and Menendez called for traveling, moving the feet prior to putting the ball down. Hurricanes with a 14-8 lead, 1:48 left in the first quarter. Foul inside against Westhampton Beach.
Hey, Williamson and Jones are carrying Harborfields right now. Williamson, number 11, and Jones, number 15.
Sellers inside with the putback. 14-10 Hurricanes. Hurricanes break the pressure inside to Holman, who has the shot blocked.
Good job by Robert contesting that layup.
Harborfields in transition. And scoring is Earl Williamson, making it 14-12 Hurricanes. Up and down the court we go. Menendez up to Ford. Ford recovers after his first shot was denied. Holman gives to Ritchie for the basket.
Nice use of the backboard. Shot that banker high off the glass.
16-12 Hurricanes. Williamson all the way in. Nice block by Holman, but he took the ball out of bounds, so it will remain Tornadoes basketball.
You gotta love it. The refs are letting the play all out right now. A lot of contact. Both teams' hands are active. And when that's the case, usually a lot of things don't get noticed. Ooh, nice trap.
Hurricanes with the ball.
Good D right there. Sanders with the block.
Menendez tied up, kicks it back out to Ligon. Running shot in the lane, way off the mark. To Marcus Jones with the ball, and now Menendez with the steal.
Menendez running to him.
Reverse layup is off the mark.
Nice try. Got to kiss it higher off the glass.
That's 34. Robert having a shot knocked away. Ball on the floor. Nice play by Menendez to save that to Ligon. And time expires here in the first quarter. Quarter of play about to begin from Stony Brook University. You see there the Hurricane cheerleaders exhorting the fans on. We'd like to thank the Westhampton Rotary Club for their sponsorship of this Suffolk County Class B final. They also sponsor the Wings Over Long Island Air Show to be held on June 6th and 7th. Bresky Airport in Westhampton, and you can buy tickets from any Rotarian. Well, Brian, a first quarter that saw the Hurricanes emerge with a 16-12 lead. Certainly the pace of the game has been very up-tempo, which makes it hard for the officials if nobody else.
Yeah, they're getting a workout just like the kids. It's just that the kids get substituted for. The refs don't have any subs, so they're both in top condition getting a good workout. Story of the game so far is the tempo. Harborfields full court pressure. Jones and Williamson played big for Harborfields. And West Ham, I think, good quarter for Harborfields, 16-12 lead, but West Ham realizes it's not going to be a cakewalk, and they're not at home anymore, so they got to get used to playing on the road.
Well, this might turn out to be a game where it's survival of the fittest if the pace of this game stays as hectic as it's been, particularly because you're playing on a college-sized court, too. These players have to run a lot more than they would on a normal-sized high school court.
Hey, Sanders is coming of age. There's another block. He's a big factor. Number 33 in white has become a big factor in this game. Big defensive presence. You got to love it. Like Bill Russell a little bit, you know?
Bronson Martin knocks down the jumper. That's a big one for Martin in the Class A final last year against Amityville. He struggled to find his shot, and he missed his first couple of tries from the field tonight. So getting that first one in perhaps will lead to more success for Martin and for the Hurricanes.
Good job by West Ham using Jermaine Holman to come to the front of the court, throw it up top to him to break that pressure.
Ritchie from downtown. Holman tips the rebound out into the hands of Harborfields. Harborfields in transition, and Jason Ritchie getting back in position, drawing the offensive foul against Brandon Sellers. Make that Earl Williamson picking up the personal. His first, the 15th foul against Harborfields. Westhampton beats with 4. Now Harborfields stealing the inbounds. Sanders clearing out to Holman, who misses him in close, but Martin following up with the tip-in.
You can see right there where Jermaine didn't have his footwork down on the full court. You know, so that extra few strides throws you off a little bit, especially when you're doing your sprint, your full court sprint. But the story of the first half for West Ham is Menendez and Holman, I thought, but especially Dale, controlling the tempo and doing the right thing with the ball. And from here on in, that's where he's got to outplay Williamson for Harborfields.
You saw Harborfields get called for a traveling violation, and after that turnover, Harborfields decided to take a timeout.
They're going to use their timeouts now. They're already winded, and they're breathing pretty hard. So to sustain the pressure on the large court, they have a large task at hand.
But what we heard about them, that they like to play up-tempo, and they certainly came out and tried to set the tempo with that full-court pressure, showing that they're not afraid of playing a hard full-court game all the way. So I guess now we'll see if they can last playing that style the whole game. Maybe they'll have to pull back some and be a little more judicious.
Right. Sustenance said, you know, you got to sustain that whole 32 minutes. So you're talking about being in peak condition here. So if you want to play full court pressure end to end, you gotta be in top condition for that.
6:37 left in the first half. The Hurricanes with a 20-12 advantage. Martin pops the jumper. Sanders with the rebound. Ball is stripped away by Harborfields. Robert pulling the ball right out of Sanders' hand, and then Sanders doing a very foolish thing after getting the ball stripped, just reaching out and fouling Robert after he lost the ball.
Well, he had a problem as soon as he put the ball and brought it down on the floor. He bounced right back up, stayed light on his feet, and went right back up with the ball. Never bringing it down, he puts that right back up. Post-up layup.
Williamson getting tripped up, going to the court. That's number 5, Adam Wishard for Harborfield. Holman stealing the pass.
You know, in their zone trap, Holman does a real good job covering territory on from the wing. Comes up with a lot of steals, stepping in the passing lane.
Ford's turnaround is short. Wishard with the rebound. Jones working through traffic, losing the ball, and then a foul call against the Hurricanes.
That's a tough call against West Ham right there. That guy lost control of the ball on his own.
Jones works his way down low for two. Good ball skills shown by Jones. Ritchie back the other way, loses the ball to Robert. Jones kicks it out to Ashard, who's going to be called for traveling as he tried to split the Hurricane defenders with the dribble.
Seems like West Ham is just rushing it down at the offensive end. As soon as they break the press and they're attacking the basket, they got to just make a better decision with the ball when they break the press from down here. They're not coming up with, they're not paying Harborfields. They're not making them pay for pressing them right now.
Ritchie's shot is no good, but he rebounds his own miss and puts it back in. 22-14 Hurricanes. Nice pass down low from Sellers to Robert.
Sweet pass inside. Great entry pass.
Tornadoes with full court pressure. Menendez fouled as he received that pass.
Harborfields does a good job denying that inbound pass. A lot of teams, when they press, they're going to let you have the first pass inbounds, and then they go trap. Harborfields denying that inbound pass, making it a little bit difficult for West Ham to get the ball inbound. But then after that first pass, they trap. They're looking to get it to Menendez in the middle of the court.
Ritchie thought about the three. Martin will launch one and hit. Martin connects from downtown. 25-16 Westhampton Beach. Hurricane fans chanting Bronson. Sellers missing, but he rebounds his own miss a second time, and his tenacity is rewarded. 25-18 Hurricanes.
Good decision by Ritchie. Right.
Martin all the way in and scores.
Good D by Harborfield, though. Martin making a better shot.
Three-pointer off the mark. Menendez in transition for two.
Look at that finish. He out-sprinted people with the ball using his speed dribble.
Just like he was running for the goal line in football, Menendez sped ahead of everybody for the basket. 29-18, an 11-point Hurricane lead. Nice pass down low to Sellers.
Holmes got to step over quicker, block that shot.
29-20, Westhampton Beach, forward ahead of the field. And the Hurricanes beating Harborfields in the transition game. Whether the Tornadoes are getting tired or not, we're not sure. Just the size of the court possibly throwing them off again, too.
I tell you what, a lot of it is the anxiety of playing, the nerves of playing in this game. But West Ham, both teams now breathing hard.
Boy, with a nice clear out to Martin, who gets it up ahead to Holman, who in turn is fouled by Harborfields.
West Ham, they're breathing hard too, man. Don't get me wrong. They're calling it 20.
Hurricane coach Rich Ray signaling for a timeout. I don't know if that's to take a breather, but it could be.
They are breathing hard. They are, because a lot of it is the anxiety, you know, of playing in the game. So that, you know, the nervousness of that nervous energy at the beginning of the game. So now we're in the flow.
2:44 left in the first half. Westhampton Beach with a 31-20 lead. Winner of this game will face off against the Bridgehampton Killer Bees, who knocked off Santa Maritza 78-63 in the Class CD game. So Bridgehampton will play the winner of this game for the Suffolk County Small Schools title, which Bridgehampton won last year. So after both squads go to their respective corners to catch a quick breath or two, sort of like the bell sounding in a boxing match, where you go to your corner and get a minute rest, back out, resume fighting, you know.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Resume running up and down the court. Holman to the line for a 1-and-1, knocks down the first. That was the 17th foul against Harborfields. That last foul against Tamarcus Jones, his second. 1 of 2 for Holman. Rebounding foul against Jason Ritchie. And that will be the 17th foul against the Hurricanes. So that will give a 1-and-1 free throw situation to Harborfields. Brandon Sellers will be at the line. Sellers knocks down the first. Two for Sellers. 32-22. Harborfields again employing full court pressure. Menendez up ahead to Ritchie. Blocking foul call on Harborfields. Williamson tried to get position to draw the charge, but instead Ritchie will be at the line for 2 shots.
Williamson had the right idea, but he was too far in the paint area to try to draw the offense.
Well, one thing about full court pressure, if you're able to break it, you can get a quick look at the basket, and the Hurricanes have found that to be true. When they've broken that pressure, they've had some easy baskets, or at least have gotten fouled going to the basket. Harborfield's gambling. I mean, it's a high-risk defense. You can steal the ball and get an easy basket yourself, but if the other team breaks it, you could well give up an easy basket at the other end. 1 of 2 for Ritchie, 33-22 Hurricanes. 2:25 left in the first half. Good hands by Ligon.
Good hands.
Stealing that ball, and now it's restolen. Jones with the quick hands. Ritchie going for the block, will be called for the foul.
Yeah, Jones got a break there with that one, I thought. Ritchie did a good job with his feet, pushing him away from the basket a little bit.
Second personal foul on Ritchie. 18th foul on the Hurricanes.
I guess he got part of the wrist and the arm on the shot.
Jones knocks down the first free throw.
What grades Jones and Williamson in? Do they have that listing in our book? We don't have a lot of information about Harborfields.
Jones and Williamson are both juniors.
Wow.
Sellers also a junior.
No doubt.
So they'll have some talent coming back again next year. Martin going to the basket, and a foul call.
I'll tell you what, right now, Westhampton just gets the ball to Menendez, and he's breaking all of the traps that Harborfields is trying to do here. Now, with Harborfields, the adjustment they're going to have to make is keep the ball out of Menendez's hands if they can, you know.
Foul call on number 30 of Harborfields, just in the game. Sophomore Derek Caracciolo. Martin hits on the first. Holman with the long rebound and the putback. Bronson Martin makes 1 or 2 free throws, and then Holman with the basket. Now in the transition, Menendez scores.
All right, now you're looking at the defense that Coach Race likes. If you take a look over at the sideline, everyone's enthusiastic for Westhampton. They love the effort displayed right there. That was a good sequence for Westhampton on that defensive end.
Hurricanes always tenacious on defense, and Harborfields turns the ball over.
That pressure D paying dividends.
38-24. Quick 5 points by the Hurricanes. The free throw, Holman's putback, and then Menendez basket off the turnover. And that's how the Hurricanes do it. Those quick spurts. Menendez down the lane, rebounding his own miss. Tied up in traffic, losing the ball. Jones in transition has the ball batted away, but he recovers. Caracciola to the basket. Foul call against Westhampton Beach. Mike Ford picks up the personal, his third 19th foul on the Hurricanes. Caracciola at the line for 2 shots.
That's an interesting substitution for Westhampton now. Ford has 3 fouls, so they're going into the bench to Cruz.
Sean Galloway, number 24, coming in. Shot inside, knocked away by Holman. But it's recovered by Harborfields, and Sellers scores. 38-26, Hurricanes. Menendez advances the ball into the front court. Martin pops the 3-pointer. Jones with the rebound. Richard. 3-pointer off the mark.
Good job
by Sellers. In transition, Menendez to Holman. Shot partially blocked by Harborfields, out of bounds. Not often that Galloway gets in the game this early, at least in the games that we've seen. So Coach Ray showing perhaps a bit more confidence in Galloway, putting him out there for some playing time. And now Jeremy Ligon brought back into the game for the Hurricanes during that last stoppage of play. Turnover against the Hurricanes. "25 seconds left in the first half.
Lucian Bloxon in now. He substitutes in for, I thought it was Cruz. Galloway?
No, he came in. I'm not certain. Final seconds winding down. Harborfields, nice play inside. Caracciola with the basket. 3 seconds. Court lane shot is off the mark. And we've come to the end of the first half of play in the Suffolk County Class B title game. With the score, Westhampton Beach 28, Harborfields. Make that Westhampton Beach 38, Harborfields 28. Second half of play about to begin here from the State University of New York at Stony Brook. It is the Suffolk County Class B title game. Halftime score, the Westhampton Beach Hurricanes 38, the Harborfields Tornadoes 28. And we'd like to thank the Westhampton Rotary Club for their sponsorship of this game, and remind you that they also sponsor Wings Over Long Island Air Show to be held June 6th and 7th at Gabreski Airport in Westhampton. Tickets for which you can get from any member of the Rotary Club.
Right, you can see Paul had focused in on the West Ham Beach Hurricane huddle. It's under a minute to go now. Coach Race has opted to let his guys get out on the floor with about 5 minutes to go to the tip-off, and they've made an adjustment now, so it looks like they're going over this adjustment right now. Be interesting to see what it might be. Kind of like that idea, you know. The kids, they don't want to be in the locker room. They want to be on the floor, you know, showing what they got. So they went in there for 2 minutes. Probably people used the bathroom, whatever. Came back out and started shooting right away. And he's doing their halftime adjustment on the sideline. In the first half, West Ham was led by Bronson Martin with 12 points. Dale Menendez is playing great right now. He had 9 points. Jermaine Holman has 5. Jason Ritchie has 5. Mike Ford, Jeremy Ligon both have 2. Sanders has 3. They shot 7 for 11 from the free throw line, so not so bad. Ford has 3 fouls, Sanders has 2 fouls, and Ritchie has 2 fouls. So the front line of West Ham has some foul problems right now. Harborfields were led by Sellers with 10 second quarter points. Jones had 8. Williamson had 6. I think that's that's the core of their team right there, is the Williamson, Jones, and Sellers.
And they're all juniors.
They're all juniors. And Robert had 2. And the other person, Capacciano, how do you pronounce the last name, man?
Caracciola.
He had 2 points.
Or Caracciola. I'm not sure how you pronounce it exactly, but take your pick.
And they were shot 4 for 8 from the free throw line.
Second half underway. Ball inside to Sanders. Nice pass from Holman. 40-28 Hurricanes.
West Ham, they're not going to trap now. They're just playing a regular 2-3, less trapping so far out. They aren't extending it. Oh, he landed.
Good hands by Robert to pick that ball out of the air and score.
Nice job by Robert. Let's see if West Ham's going to start pounding the ball inside a little bit.
Harborfield staying with that full court press. Nice move by Ritchie. First to catch the pass and then to get that shot up and in.
Good point, Ed. Good job catching and finishing the play. That's what West Ham didn't do enough of in the first half. They didn't finish.
42-30 Hurricanes. Nice pass down low to Harold Robert.
They're trading baskets right now. Harborfield's pressing.
One thing about the press, you want the turnover, of course, but you can also sometimes get a 10-second violation, that kind of turnover. Or if the other team does get the ball into the front court, they have less time to work on their offense. Holman, spinning move in the lane, and he's called for traveling.
Would have been well advised to make an extra pass. As a senior, he's taking things under you know, in his own hands there. Trying to do a little bit too much, though.
Hurricanes in a 2-1-2 zone. Of course, you know they love to trap off of this. If you go to the side of the court, they'll double team.
I think it's a 2-3, but Sanders comes up to the high post area to make it look like a 2-1-2.
And Ian Farrell, with the ball, goes down to the court, wisely calling for a timeout. He had nowhere to go with that ball. Harborfields using their 20-second timeout for this half.
Coach Race is arguing now. I mean, the person fell down. That should be a walk. So he's wondering how they got the timeout when he fell down.
Westhampton Beach would become a 3-time Class B titleist if they can win this game. They won back-to-back Class B titles in the 93 and 94 seasons. And in fact, in the 93 season, they were the Suffolk County Small School champ. Sellers had a shot altered from in close. Jason Ritchie coming away with the rebound. Harborfields playing man-to-man. Let me check that. Appears they're in a zone.
Great job by Holman, getting another opportunity for his team.
Ritchie missing, rebound to Harborfields, to Robert. To Marcus Jones. And Earl Williamson, number 11 for Harborfields. Farrell pops the jumper and hits. Ian Farrell makes it 42-34. 4 straight points by Harborfields, has them within 8. Bronson Martin steps back for the short bank shot.
Nice job fundamentally coming to a jump stop, giving a ball fake, and looking the other way, making him look like he was going to pass the ball.
Jones open for the 3, cannot connect. Sanders getting up high for the rebound.
Sanders making another nice play on the court, rebound.
You know, we should mention, and I want to correct something I've probably done in other games, because I thought Sanders, and maybe I should check this again, but I thought Sanders was a sophomore last year and would be a junior this year, but then on the Hurricane roster that we get for each game, they have him as a sophomore. Now I see in the book for today's game he's a junior again, which I think might be right, but I'll have to double check that for our next telecast, just so we are accurate with that information.
You know, we don't work in the school district, Ed, so we rely on what is handed to us from, you know, from their sports department.
Unless we know for certain it's different, and I went to season, you know, seeing Sanders listed as a sophomore, and didn't really dawn on me until, you know, recently. And then I saw it today, today's program. Should mention George Davila has a nice program here available at the game, and hasn't been out for a couple of years, because sometimes they can get it together, sometimes they can't. So if you happen to get a chance to come to a game here,
it's a big putback by Jermaine.
Yeah, it's a good book to have. A lot of good stats in it.
I love it.
Nice move by Earl Williamson for the lay-in. Menendez give and go with Holman. Menendez unable to connect. Sellers up ahead to Jones. Back to Sellers. Shot is blocked by Sanders, but it'll be a goaltending call. Count the basket.
Great action right there. Great athletic action right there. You gotta love it.
47-38, 9-point Hurricane lead. 3:33 left in the third quarter. Holman works along the baseline. Jones with the rebound. Harborfields look to push the ball up court.
They got to get Sellers working again.
Three-pointer off the mark. High rebound taken by Holman.
Nice rebound. Look at that fast break work.
Martin pops the jumper. Holman with the offensive rebound. Sellers outlet to Williamson. Waits for his team to catch up. Nice pass down low to Robert. We've seen some nice pass work on both sides today.
It's a little half-court trap now.
Ball lost out of bounds by Martin. Harborfields back within 7, 47-40, and they have the ball. Mike Ford, number 55, back in for Westhampton Beach, replacing Sanders. Adam Richard, number 5, in for Harborfield. Sellers to the basket, cannot connect. Ball lost out of bounds to the Tornadoes.
Tell you, they score here. They got a little bit of momentum working in their favor. They're outplaying West Ham right now. This is part of the third quarter.
New shot clock for Harborfields. Good hands by Martin, anticipating that pass and knocking it out of bounds. Good pass along the baseline to Marcus Jones with the basket. Harborfields making that extra pass and getting a layup out of it. And now Jones will be at the line to try to complete the three-point play. Could bring his team within 4. 2:07 left, third quarter. Jones completes the three-point play, 47-43, Westhampton Beach, 5 straight points by Harborfields.
That whole team is standing up on the sideline, the guys on the bench.
Harborfields can cinch that they're in this game. Martin misses from downtown, but Holman with the offensive putback.
I tell you, he's the key right there.
Near steal by the Hurricanes.
Jermaine's having a good game today.
Jones from downtown. Rebound, fought for. Robert comes away with it, and the basket. 49-45 Hurricanes. Holman, and he draws the foul. Jermaine Holman, averaging 18 points and 10 rebounds a game, will go to the line for 2 shots.
West Ham's having a lot of success with getting the ball to Jermaine on the baseline and letting him take over from there, Ed. You notice that repeatedly. They get it to him on the baseline, let him go with it. He's doing a good job getting in the lane, using his quickness.
And the second free throw by Holman hangs on the rim and comes away. 1 of 2, 50-45, a 5-point Hurricane lead. Deflection by Westhampton Beach, and they got the turnover. Menendez up to Ford, who tries the reverse layup. He did, however, draw the foul.
Good job by West Ham. Harborfields went on their run now, and West Ham doing a good job of counteracting it with the run of their own.
See Hurricane fans with their hands up. I think they're trying to get all that force together, you know, the force is with them, something along those lines. As Ford goes to the line for 2 shots.
The force.
Or the Ford maybe is with you. The Ford is with you.
That's what it might be.
And Ford knocking down the first free throw. Or maybe it's pyramid power, I'm not sure. Ford gets the second to rattle through as well. 52-45 Hurricanes, and Ford goes to the bench.
And he playing those bangs. He was banking them on purpose. So his teammates give him a hard time, but that's how he don't like these ribs, so he banks it in.
Sanders back in to replace him, and Sanders blocking that shot out of bounds.
Nothing coming easy inside for Harborfields. They're still doing a good job attacking, though, the big man. And that's a strategy I like. You keep going after the big man. Just keep going after him. Keep challenging him. Nice pass.
Jones loses the handle on it. And an offensive foul will be called on Menendez. He caught that pass. The defender was very close to him. You could argue the point that he didn't have enough room to look up court because you're supposed to be allowed some space to turn up court. But in the eyes of the officials, it was sufficient. So Menendez called for the offensive foul, and Sanders blocking the first shot, but persistence by Harborfields getting that basket. 52-47. Scramble for the loose ball. It's tied up. Alternating possession will favor Harborfields. 12.6 seconds left, third quarter. Harborfields trailing by 5.
Well, Richie's going to get himself in trouble by making that lob pass. You know, you fake high, you throw low. You got to make a crisper pass. The lob pass gives the defense time to react. Ooh, look at him split the
Jones
track.
all the way to the basket. Richie with the rebound. Final seconds. He gets the shot up. Would have counted had it gone, but it falls short. That will bring us to the end of the third quarter of play in the Suffolk County Class B title game. With the score, Westhampton Beach 52, Harborfields 47.
Be a good fourth quarter, huh?
All the Westhampton Beach crowd appears to be on their feet as we await the start of this fourth quarter. Harborfields outscoring Westhampton Beach 19-14 in that quarter to have that 10-point lead down to 5 as we come to the final 8 minutes of play to see who will be the Suffolk County Class B champions for the 1998 season.
Big third quarter for, I believe his first name is Tamarcus Jones for Harborfield. And Jermaine Holman's carrying Westhampton. Dale Menendez has got to step up and continue to play the flawless job in the backcourt here. You got to limit your turnovers, protect the ball. Game's going to come down to capitalizing on each possession. 5-point lead, but Harborfield has the momentum, so Westhampton's got to get back on track.
A little bit early, perhaps, for the wearing of the green, but you saw a Hurricane fan done up in some green body paint of some kind. Of course, Harborfield wears green as well. Nice pass, Menendez to Holman. Seven-point Hurricane lead. Jones has the ball knocked away from behind. Menendez to the basket, and the foul. Menendez and Martin with a give and go on the 2-and-1 break. And Menendez taking it strong and drawing the foul and getting the basket. We'd like to once again thank the Westhampton Rotary Club for their generous sponsorship of this game. And they also will be sponsoring Wings over Long Island on June 6th and 7th at Kabreski Airport in Westhampton. Tickets for which can be obtained from any Rotary Club member. Menendez completes the three-point play. So 5 quick points to start this quarter for the Hurricanes to have a 57-47 lead, restoring that 10-point margin they had at halftime. Jones missing from in close. Robert with the rebound. Williamson, a lot of contact underneath. Surprised there wasn't a foul call of some kind, but none forthcoming. Holman back the other way. Good save to Martin. Rebound batted away into the hands of Williamson.
Jermaine Holman's playing his heart out at this point. Nice pass inside.
Jones with Shard for three. Adam with Shard knocks down a big three-pointer for the Tornadoes, bringing them back within 7. 57-50. Holman has the ball stripped away, and now re-stolen by Menendez. Holman with the putback and the foul.
Fake pass. Dale with the move in the lane. Dale fake behind the back. Continuing up. Nice move. Too bad it didn't finish. Holman's playing his heart out right now. Hey, I'm impressed with Harborfields, Ed. They passed. A great passing team. They passed very well down on this end of the court. Harborfields, they play that unit on the court against the zone. You know, West Ham plays the passing lanes very well. And Harborfields is having some success passing and getting good shots. They're having good shots, good looks at the hoop.
Williamson to the basket is fouled. Holman making both of his free throws just a few moments ago, giving the Hurricanes a 59-50 lead. Well, you know, if you're getting some easy baskets or seemingly easy baskets against the Hurricanes, you're earning them. They're a team that prides itself on their defense. And if you can get some lay-in baskets, you've done a good job. Jones having a shot knocked away from in close.
Good block by Mike Ford.
guess it's, what is it, Michigan that has that trailer? They call that tractor trailer?
Yeah, I'm interested to see how he'll be in the crew.
Well, we can have Ford. We can have a Ford truck, I guess, for the Hurricanes.
Pablo, Paul, help me. Oh,
nice pass again by Harborfields. Unable to convert.
West Ham is getting big on them now. They're contesting those shots, and they're not. Harborfield's not having a chance to finish.
Martin from downtown. Bronson Martin. Big three-point basket. 62-50. In close shot miss. Richie with the rebound. Menendez up to Martin.
They need a timeout, Nick.
Hurricanes have Harborfields on the run, and the Tornadoes take a timeout. 5:03 left in the game. Westhampton Beach with a 64-50 lead.
Harborfields went on that run. Now West Ham is counteracting with a run of their own. So West Ham did a good job withstanding the run of Harborfields.
Well, as these teams got to this game, the Class B final, they each posted a pair of victories. Harborfields, the number 3 seed, first knocked off Kings Park at home, and then knocked off Mount Sinai at home. Mount Sinai, prior to that, knocking off number 2 seed Amityville, the defending Class B champ, and then getting knocked off in turn by Harborfields. Harborfields winning that game 76-68. We mentioned earlier, Jones had 29 points in that game. Sellers had 15 points and 9 assists, and Williamson and Bouchard had 9 points apiece. Hurricanes knocked off Southampton in their semifinal game, or I should say quarterfinal game, 85-50. Bronson Martin with 22 points, Jermaine Holm with 21, and then they beat East Hampton 76-39, utilizing a 32-0 run in that second half. Martin with 21 points, Jason Ritchie with 13, and Holman with 12. Hurricanes in transition, follow-up shot miss. Ritchie comes away with the rebound, but he'll be called for traveling, trying to get away from the pressure, walking with the ball. Again a turnover. Menendez missing from in close. Ford, a good play to get that rebound and control it. And the Hurricanes will reset the offense. Bronson Martin from downtown, off the mark, however. Amityville needs to score some points. Jones going strong to the basket, and he draws the foul. Foul on Ford is 4th personal. 4th team foul on Westhampton Beach. Harborfields with 5 team fouls. Timeout taken by the Hurricanes. 4:11 left in the game. So here we are, Brian. Harborfields down by 14. They have a lot of catching up to do, and a very difficult task to do with the Hurricanes having such a strong defensive squad.
Yeah, well, they can't turn over the ball like they just did in the backcourt here and let West Ham go down and the races on the other end. West Ham, though, I still think they got to keep attacking. They can't come out, you know, and start milking the clock. It's a 14-point lead, and they're best when they're attacking. So keep attacking the basket, you know, make the extra pass for a better shot selection, you know, so you have a good look at the hoop. But and on the defense end, don't foul. You know, play good hard D and don't foul. Now the one kid we've seen a couple, the only kid for Harborfield shooting threes is the kid who had that open window shot from the corner, number 5.
That was Adam Richard.
Richard. He's the only kid I've seen on the Harborfields team who shot the 3. So you want to be aware of who can shoot the 3 for Harborfields. And right now, he's the only one who's got the pure stroke. So Harborfields is going to the rim. They're getting everything inside. So Westhampton got to do a good job now. Keeping them away from the basket and make them shoot the perimeter shots. And then you'll be a little bit tighter shooting perimeter shots. So keep them from driving the lane.
Is it too early for Harborfields to be looking for 3-point shots, or should they just take the best shot they can get as quickly as possible?
No, they got to keep the Harborfields. They got to keep attacking the rim. From what I know of them, it looks like they have their best success is making that extra pass. They pass well, and they get dribble penetration.
Jones knocks down the 2 free throws.
You know, you do what got you here, Ed. You don't start doing something that you're not. That's one of your weaknesses. You play to your strengths.
Caracciola blocks Menendez, but a rebound basket put in by Dwayne Sanders. 66-52, 14-point Hurricane lead. They'll be very happy to trade baskets the rest of the way. Nice move by Jones, sliding through the lane. Ligon to Menendez. Ball knocked away from Menendez. Williamson recovers.
Dale's got to do a better job protecting the ball.
Ritchie with the steal. Holman with the throwdown. 68-54. Williamson draws the foul on Sanders.
So you don't want to foul and stop the clock.
Well, that jam certainly got the Hurricane crowd pumped up, as if they weren't pumped up enough already.
Well, Jermaine did a nice job making the basket. We didn't want to see him do a windmill or a tomahawk, but a live throwdown nonetheless, Ed. You got to love it.
Williamson misfiring on the first of 2. That was foul number 4 on Sanders. 15th foul on the Hurricanes. Harborfields also with 5.
Westhampton has to protect the ball now.
Ligon double team, gets it away to Martin. You want to try and keep the ball in the hands of whoever you feel is your surest ball handler, or ball handlers, as the case may be. Ligon out there with Martin and Menendez. Martin knocks down the short jumper, and the Hurricanes extend to a 15-point lead. Their biggest of the game, 70-55.
Martin's doing a great job making himself available to the pass. You always want to make yourself available to the pass, and Martin did a great job that time of doing that.
3-pointer off the mark by Jones. He recovers on the rebound, and a foul call against the Hurricanes.
Now, the Hurricanes are not playing smart on the defensive end of the floor. Harborfields is pressing a little bit. We're in the game, Ed. Harborfield's playing a little bit of tight. You know, everything's going inside, and they're throwing it all up. Westhampton not continue to foul down the stretch here.
Mike Ford just picked up his 5th personal, so he is leaving the game. Getting a nice hand from the Hurricane fans. Dwayne Sanders coming back in. I believe he has 4 fouls. Well, I'll tell you one thing. The Hurricanes, I'm sure, wanted to make sure that this game wasn't going to come down to the final minutes like last year against Amityville. They have a very comfortable lead right now. 2:34 left, 15-point lead, and they want to try and maintain a double-digit lead the rest of the way.
Mike Ford fouling out. Good effort underneath.
Jones, who has a good stroke from the line, from what we can tell.
Westhampton's got to protect the ball. You know Harborfields is coming after him. Box out right here, though.
2 for 2 for Jones. 70-57, Harborfields. Full court pressure. They have to create some turnovers. Menendez up ahead to Sanders. Rebound basket by Martin. Back the other way. Sellers gives to Jones for the basket.
Great basket by Jones.
Harborfields needing to cause turnovers. Menendez loses the ball, and it's stolen by the Hurricanes. Menendez to Holman. Knocked away by Robert from in close. Sellers scores. Smart thing to let him go, too, by Ligon. Not foul him, give him a chance for a three-point play. 11-point Hurricane lead, 72-61, 1:44 left in the game. Hurricanes content to run the clock if the Tornadoes will allow them. Surprised the Hurricanes aren't fouling. I should say surprised that the Tornadoes aren't fouling here. And now they do foul as Menendez goes to the basket. To go. Menendez to the line for 2 shots.
If Harborfield's going to regroup, I think grab another timeout. It's not unthinkable to come back, but they don't look like a strong three-point shooting team.
Sanders fighting for that loose ball and coming away with it. Retaining possession for the Hurricanes.
Run the clock down.
Harborfields needs to give a foul. Hurricanes will just let time run off the clock. Nice turnaround move by Sanders. Unable to connect. Hurricanes up by a dozen, 73-61. Menendez picking up the personal. Caracciolo to the line for a 1-on-1. Long rebound, batted around into the hands of Holman. Harborfields looked like they were trying to give a foul, but Holman got rid of the ball too quick. Sanders to Ritchie for the basket.
And Sanders with the dish in the lane, Ed. Ooh, we sleep with the basketball. Give me the Rockets crunch time.
Hurricanes are going to be the 1998 Suffolk County Class B champs. Harborfields takes the timeout, and that will give the Hurricane fans time to get revved up for the final few moments of this game.
I tell you what, Ed, are we thinking about Bridgehampton, Westhampton for a BCD final, maybe?
That's what it looks like.
Like right now at this point, people are starting to leave, so the game might be in hand. Westhampton's got a key on the three-point shooters for Harborfields, and we really don't know a lot about them. We'll say it again.
I'm not usually one to say it's over before it's over, but it's over.
Ooh, you never say that either, eh? Is that your heart taking over, that East End heart?
I hope not. No, I try to be objective. But look at the fact. It's a 14-point lead. 46 seconds left. Westhampton Beach will have the ball after this timeout, I believe. And it would take a miracle for Harborfields to pull this out. And you don't often have those kind of miracles.
I tell you what, though. Miracles happen, man.
They do.
You know what? And I'm rooting for them all the time.
Today won't be one of them.
Well,
hey,
at this point of this game,
correct myself, Harborfields with the ball out of that timeout. Trying to set up a three-point shot. Well short. Holman with the rebound, and he's fouled. We'll give Harborfields a lot of credit. Number 3 seed. Had a very fine season. Winning the League 6 championship, 13-1 record. Only blemish on that league record was the loss to Southampton. They'll finish the season 16-3 overall. And the Westhampton Beach Hurricanes will remain the only unbeaten team in Suffolk County going to 21-0. And they'll advance in the state Class B tournament to play the Nassau B champ, also being decided today as we videotape this game on March the 3rd. Williamson all the way in and scoring.
Holman wants the ball in his hands, doing a good job getting the ball in bounds. Harborfield stopping the clock. That's all they can do right now.
Just to look ahead here a little bit, Westhampton Beach will play the Nassau Class B champ on Saturday, March the 14th at 12 o'clock. I do not know where the site for that game is. I believe it's going to be Hofstra, because I think they had the Class B game here at Stony Brook last year. I'm not certain about that, but the alternate sites, the Nassau site being Hofstra University, the Suffolk site being here at Stony Brook. So to be at one of those sites on March the 14th. When we find out more accurate information, we'll certainly pass it on to you. But of course, the next game ahead for the Hurricanes will be the Suffolk Small Schools Final against the Killer Bees of Bridgehampton, which, if you're watching this tape telecast on Wednesday night, March the 4th, will be at 6 o'clock, March the 5th, right here at Stony Brook. Bridgehampton, the defending Suffolk Small Schools champion. Hurricanes throwing out some substitutes. Some of the players who don't play as much getting some court time. 42, Keith Majewski in the game as Jermaine Holman. Make that Dwayne Sanders goes out of the game. 14, Kenny Andrea into the game for the Hurricanes. Martin gets the first to go down on the 1-on-1. 14.9 seconds to go in the game. And the Hurricane bench, I'm sure, will erupt, as the Hurricane fans already have. Steal by Holman, up and in the field, and he throws it down, putting the exclamation mark on this Westhampton Beach victory. You want a final score here? Players from both sides congratulating one another as the Westhampton Beach Hurricanes are the 1998 Suffolk County Class B champs. Final score, Westhampton Beach 82, Harborfields 63. The Westhampton Beach Hurricanes are the 1998 Suffolk County Class B champs. Two of the players instrumental in gaining that title are with me right now. Team co-captains Jermaine Holman and Dale Menendez. And Jermaine, certainly a tremendous win for the Hurricanes. You came so close to winning it last year. I'm sure that was in the players' minds all the offseason, even though you didn't want to think about it too much, I'm sure.
That was a big part, you know. I know in the beginning, she was just taking everything one step at a time. But every day we got closer and closer by working hard in practice. And then finally we got here, we know we just can't let it slip away again like we did last year. So we just came out with intensity to play hard and just keep it together as a whole team and unit, and we just came off with a victory.
Dale, did you know much about Harborfields coming into this game as to what you needed to do against them?
Well, we just needed to stick to our game plan, just like against every other team. We really never seen them play except on tape. So just had to come in and play.
I'll tell you, you inside with Dwayne Sanders, Mike Ford, the three of you did a tremendous job rebounding and being intimidating inside. Even though Harborfields did get some baskets, you certainly made your presence felt underneath.
Yeah, we had to use our height advantage for them. It was noticeable on the court, and we just had to slide our feet and not jump into it and try to keep out of foul trouble. But overall, I think we held our own down low.
Did it surprise you at all, Dale, that they came out with a full court press right off the bat in the game?
I heard they've been doing that all season, but I didn't think they were going to do it on this big court. But they did, and we just tried to break it as good as we could.
It certainly seemed like it was a game of spurts for each team. You know, you get ahead some, they would close the gap a bit. What do you think made the difference in the game for your team?
Just staying focused, basically. Just playing together and moving the ball around. Because they were trapping on this big court, and it left a lot of holes open. So we were just trying to use it to the best of our ability.
And we noticed you had a couple of nice throwdowns today, too. I'm sure that was somewhat exciting for yourself.
It was exciting, you know. That's how championship-type game. They come with that intensity.
Well, Dale, you look ahead now. You're going to have Bridgehampton coming up in the small schools championship game. And, of course, you'll be playing in the state Class B tournament, which is certainly nice. How would you approach this Bridgehampton game? Certainly, you played them back in the holiday tournament when you held them off by 5 points, and I'm sure they're anxious to get another shot at your team as well.
Just approach it the same way. Take it just like the last game. Try real hard. I know they're going to be pumped up, but so are we.
All right, well, we want to thank both of you guys. Tremendous win today. Jermaine Holman, Dale Menendez of the Westhampton Beach Hurricanes. And Ed Zabrowski with Brian Deneen to wrap up this 82-64 Westhampton Beach victory, giving them their third Suffolk County Class B title. They won it back in the 93 and 94 seasons as well, so the first time in 4 years that the Hurricanes are Suffolk County Class B champs. And after coming so close last year, as we mentioned when we were talking to the players, you know, it's got to be very sweet indeed for Coach Rich Race and the rest of the Hurricane squad to be the Suffolk County Class B champs this season.
Right, and they had something to prove because they were real close last year, and they felt that they let that game slip away. We see Harborfields leaving now. They're really dejected, you know. They're a young team. You might see them back here.
Yeah.
Now they're leaving the way Westhampton left last year. So
not quite the same. They weren't. It wasn't as close a game,
right,
as the game last year, where the Hurricanes really had it and just had to slip out of their hands last year.
Right.
This year they made no mistake about it. They got a big enough lead and just pulled away down the stretch, and Harborfields just forced a foul down the stretch and hope for a miracle, and none was forthcoming. And certainly an impressive win by the Hurricanes, and now they're going to advance to play the Nassau Class B champ, who will be determined sometime tonight. It's March the 3rd as we videotape this. That game's going to be Saturday, March the 14th, and that'll be a 12 o'clock game. And I don't know the game site. It'll either be Hofstra University in Nassau County, or if Suffolk is the host school, it'll be back here at Stony Brook. So Westhampton Beach one step further now than last year, and now one victory away from going up to Glens Falls.
Well, they'll play the winner of the Southside Floral Park game in Nassau, and their guard play is going to have to be good to contend with West Ham's pressure D. So if they have good guards with guard skills, you know, they're going to protect the ball. That might give West Ham a problem. So West Ham is getting a lot of experience playing in these big games, and they had something to prove today. So, you know, Westhampton and Bridgehampton is a game a lot of people in our viewing area want to see, and they're going to get to see it because that's Thursday night, 6 o'clock. So a lot of people will be aware of it, and it's bragging rights of the East End.
If you're watching us, hopefully, on our Wednesday night telecast, March the 4th, 6 o'clock, as Brian mentioned, right here at Stony Brook for that Suffolk Small Schools Championship game, which Bridgehampton is the defending champion, and those teams squared off back in the Suffolk, Eastern Suffolk Officials Tournament back during the holiday season. Hurricanes coming away with a 58-53 victory, and Bridgehampton hampered somewhat because Maurice Manning wasn't at full strength, and I think the team was still finding itself, and they're a lot more cohesive unit now than they were then. Of course, you could say that Westhampton Beach is as well. So both teams have, needless to say, like all teams, improved since the beginning of the season, and it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Right. And at least the nicest thing about it is we know that one East End school will be playing for the overall county championship, because one of those teams will be playing the Class A champ for the overall county championship later this week.
Well, you make that sound like that's hardly the case, Ed. I mean, there's always someone from the East End.
Most of the time, that's true.
We don't have to prove ourselves,
well, that's true.
As far as that goes.
Except for last year when Amityville. Well, not last year,
right,
but a couple of years ago, I think.
It is something. There's like a little stigma that the East End. You know what I think it is? You know, that we always have something to prove, but you know, there's a lot of good East End talent, you know, and ball playing going on, and I think the problem is it's that it's so far from the metropolitan area that they don't get the recognition as some of the Western Suffolk teams and then all the Nassau teams get.
Well, let's look at the scoring for this game. If we have to thank WLNG, who was here videotaping the game, doing the game live on radio, who was kind enough to share their point totals because we couldn't get to the. Yeah, this is unofficial.
From the book.
It's
this
close.
Isn't from the book,
it's
but
close.
It's close.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think what we have unofficially, Bronson Martin leading the way with 23 points. Jermaine Holman, 20 points. Dale Menendez had 14. So those three right there has been carrying Westhampton, and look to see them carrying them further. Jason Ritchie with 9, playing big with a lot of rebounds. Sanders, 7, playing his role to a T. I mean, you got to have role players accepting their roles, and Sanders played great. I mean, he's out there, a defensive presence in the paint. In this game, Harborfields did a good job getting dribble penetration and getting inside, and Sanders was there how many times blocking shots or just being a defensive presence.
Altering the shot.
Just a big factor in Harborfields not converting layup opportunities. Ford had 6 points, and Jeremy Ligon had 2 points, and Jeremy did a great job handling the pressure that Harborfields threw at Westhampton. You saw them full court press Westhampton, and when Ligon was in the game, there weren't any turnovers, not that I can recall, turnovers committed. They got the ball in the open court, and then away they went, into a 3-on-2 situation or 2-on-1 situation. West Ham, I think in this game here, didn't play their great game. They played good, but I don't think they played their great game. A lot of opportunities went by the wayside attacking the rim.
Well, I'm sure, not having seen Harborfields play before, they might say some of the same things about some of their opportunities that in games before this they may have converted, but today, for one reason or another, whether it be the defensive play at Westhampton Beach or just their own anxiousness to get a shot up sometimes, they would turn the ball over themselves. And so certainly, when you have two good teams facing off against one another, there's going to be certainly turnovers are going to happen along with the fine play, and just a matter of who capitalizes on their opportunities the best. And the Hurricanes did it in better fashion today.
Good point. Who capitalizes on opportunities? On the other side of the ledger here, Jones led the way for Harborfields with 17. Sellers had 14, and Williamson had 13. And that all game seemed to be their big three. Robert had 6. Wishard hit a big 3 at one point. Caraccioli had 6, and Farrell had 2. Caracciolo.
Paul yelling down pronunciation for us.
But when Wishard hit his 3 from the corner here, that might have been the closest Harborfields ever got, and I think that was in the third quarter, Ed,
they got within 5 points, I think, in the second half, and I think that was the closest they got, and then Hurricanes responded to that and opened it up again to double digits, and pretty much were able to maintain that, I think, throughout the rest of the second half, and made enough free throws down the stretch when Harborfields had to foul to maintain their lead. So Westhampton Beach with the victory.
Well, I always say, I always think and say that basketball is a game of runs or spurts or what have you. Harborfields threw their run at Westham in the third quarter, and they had the momentum, and they actually outplayed Westhampton in the third quarter. Westhampton squelched that run, and they had a run of their own into the fourth quarter, and West Ham outplayed them first, second, and fourth quarters, so they end up victorious.
And players of the game, we're going to go with Harborfields. We'll go with Tamarcus Jones as their player of the game. West Ham Beach so hard to decide. We're going to make it a trifecta, 3 players, Dale Menendez, Jermaine Holman, and Bronson Martin, all 3 keys, along with the other players too. Certainly it's a team effort, but we'll just mention those 3 players as our players of the game for today. But certainly congratulations to the whole team, because even if you have some players that do a little more than others on the court, it takes a lot of players working hard together to make something happen, like this Class B title today for Westhampton Beach. And now, as I mentioned before, they'll go on to play the Nassau winner, and we'll see how far they can go. And still the only unbeaten team on Long Island. I don't know if that gets to become a burden at some point, but that's something they're going to have to just deal with, and I'm sure they don't mind.
No, I'm sure they don't mind. It's something that you have to deal with. But being the high seed, everyone's gunning for you. And, I give credit to Coach Race's staff and Coach Race himself. His players come out every game playing hard and working hard. And nothing comes easy, and if you're not working hard, people are going to bump you off, and it's, history. It's back to thinking about next year or whatever. But give that coaching staff credit, because these guys, the kids come out, and they come out and work hard. From what I've seen, and they're just playing hard all the time. And better is, they're enjoying to watch. They're kind of entertaining out there.
Before we go, we'd like to thank once again the Westhampton Rotary Club for their sponsorship of this game, and also want to mention once again that they'll be sponsoring Wings Over Long Island. And my apologies for on previous telecast calling it Wings Over America instead of Wings Over Long Island, which is kind of my musical background, because there was a Paul McCartney and Wings, for those of you who remember the 70s like I do, I guess. And I guess I had Wings Over America was the name of one of their albums, so I had it in my mind. So my apologies for that. But the actual title, Wings Over Long Island, air show that's going to be held at Gabreski Airport in Westhampton on June 6th and 7th, and you can buy tickets from any Rotarian. And we should also mention that they are going to also be sponsoring the Suffolk County Small Schools Championship game that we're going to be back here to film in a couple of days, March the 3rd, as we videotape this, March the 5th when the game is.
Many thanks to the Rotarians, and the fact that we know we're going to be here makes the production so much easier for Paul and Steve to get it all together. I mean, without, when we're making phone calls to the last minute, things don't run as smooth. Now we can work on bringing you the production. It's improving immensely. I love the music. I love the music that we're putting on this mix.
All right, and that will do it here from Stony Brook University. This has been Cablevision Sports coverage of the Suffolk County High School Boys Basketball Playoffs on Channel 27, Peconic Bay Television, your East End High School Sports Connection. Thanks to director and videographer Paul Sparrow up above, filming us in both the games we did here today. Boys Basketball Playoffs on Peconic Bay Television, Channel 27, your East End High School Sports Connection. This is Ed Zabrowski along with Brian Deneen and director videographer Paul Sparrow. We're at the State University of New York at Stony Brook. It is March the 3rd, 1998. We're here for the Class C-D game between County Class D champ Bridgehampton and County Class C champ Stony Riches. Both squads coming off unbeaten league seasons. Bridgehampton, the League 8 champ. Stony is the League 7 champ, each winning their respective class titles. I'd like to say that because of some technical difficulties, we were not able to bring the first quarter to you, so we will pick up action with the beginning of the second quarter. Bridgehampton has started out strong in this game. They have an 18-8 lead after one.
Sloppy quarter for the most part. Both teams playing man-to-man defense, but Bridgehampton, I think, having the experience factor and the tight rims here. Stony Rich is a big key for them is their three-point shooting, and Courtney Pritchard opened the game within the first minute mark with a big three, but that's been it for center.
Nice play by Bridgehampton to save that. Charles Furman, nice play. Maurice Manning, number 21. Familiar to everyone on the East End. Ronnie White inside with the basket.
Bridgehampton has had some success underneath against Stony Riches. So Stony Riches is a guard-oriented team. Bridgehampton's strategy has been to go inside, and it's been effective. You saw the result right there. Lanham for Stony Riches was a factor after he came in, though, for the second part of the first quarter. I think a key for Bridgehampton is their quickness. Throughout the whole playoff run, their quickness is what separates them from the pack. Also, I think for this game, passing is going to be key for them, limiting turnovers, and they had a fair amount of them in the beginning, and Coach Johnson already has taken players out of the game for their either carelessness or the lack of concentration causing turnovers.
Manning from the outside.
Bridgehampton, on the other hand, they may have, I think Tad Pikett has a three for them in the first quarter. Bridgehampton's got to spread the court and get the game in an up-tempo game. Center Rich's key, I think, is their three-point shooting.
Tammy and Trent make that Eric Lanham inside, getting blocked by a pair of Killer Bees.
Another key for Center Rich's is Courtney Pritchard, I think. How he goes, they go. He makes everyone around him a lot better. And I think a big key for them is Sean Breathwaite.
Loose ball comes to Manning. Tat Pikett from outside. Manning up for the rebound. Von Brunsberg comes away with it for Center Merchants.
Brathwaite must play big and stay out of foul trouble. And so far, he's played okay, taking a couple shots when he should have been inside. He's not on the court now, but he's an athletic forward center. He jumps center for center, and he's a big key to keeping Bridgeham in check and off the boards.
You saw the super sophomore player for Center Richards, number 24, Courtney Pritchard, averaging 18 points a game, 10 assists, and 6 steals. Instrumental in them winning the Class C title last year and this year, as Center Richards are a two-time Class C champ. Bridgehampton winning the Class D title for a 4th straight time. Von Brunsberg retreating to garner in that pass. Now a steal. B.J. Walker with the basket.
Hey, and B.J. Walker was rewarded with that break. Here's a big sequence here. B.J. doing the right thing. Nice play.
Pikett for 3. Von Brunsberg with the rebound and a foul on Bridgehampton. B.J.
Walker's defense in the first quarter was the story for Bridgehampton. He was guarding Courtney. He's got a big assignment today, and he's made the most of it. He put a lot of pressure on the point guard for center. So B.J. Walker and Maurice Manning carried them in that first quarter.
When we get a moment, we'll give you the rundown on all the players on the court. That's John Bonamo, number 13 for Center Merchants. Ryan Von Brunsberg. Sean Braithwaite, number 30, missing. Ball batted around. Pritchard knocks down the three-point basket.
Quick release, beautiful shot.
Makes the score Bridgehampton 22, Center Merchants 11. Matt White from the outside, way off the mark.
I think both teams, free throws and layups are a key.
Also on the court for Center Merchants, number 21, bringing the ball up. 5'11" sophomore Tamian Trent, averaging 18 points a game. Bonamo averaging 16 points. They're the three big offensive guns for the Red Devils.
Number 32, Ronnie White, he replaces Matt White.
On the court for the Killer Bees, we've already seen 21 Maurice Manning, 32 Ronnie White, 13 Tat Pikett, 23 B.J. Walker. Also on the court at present for Bridgehampton, number 30, Kareem Coffey.
Watch this inbounds play. Center got an easy basket out of their inbounds play underneath.
Manning with the steal. Basket by Manning as Trent tried to knock the ball away from behind, but Manning, though momentarily slowed down, able to recover and score.
Bridgehampton pulling away already.
Well, these teams met last year in the Class CD game, Bridgehampton winning on that occasion and going all the way to the county final where they lost a heartbreaker at the buzzer to William Floyd. So these teams certainly not strangers to one another, even though they didn't get to play in the same league this year, Bridgehampton being moved down from League 7 to League 8.
Oh, yeah, they could be considered rivals. Remember some of them games when Troy Cousins was for center, had his team that went to the States versus Troy Bow's team from Bridgeham. They had all kinds of problems after the game. The tension was so high.
We'd like to mention that we'd like to thank Peconic Bay Television Channel 27 studio manager Steve Laurie for his generous sponsorship of this game and allowing us to be able to bring you this videotape telecast of the Suffolk County CD game. Tammy and Trent will be at the line for 2 shots. Bridgehampton currently with a 24-11 lead. Make that a 1-1, and Trent missing on the first. Manning away with the ball for Bridgehampton.
Bridgeham's controlling the boards.
Walker open from downtown. Manning trying to jam it in off the rebound. A whistle. That's Dick Solby under the basket, one of today's officials. He is joined by Jim Huey.
I tell you what, if he had thrown that down, this place would have been stirring for the next 4 or 5 minutes, at least until halftime.
Pikett from downtown off the mark. Pritchard in transition. Pritchard rebounding his own miss. Great tenacity shown by Pritchard. And now a steal.
Good job by getting it to Courtney.
Trent pops the jumper and he hits.
Good job getting Courtney on track. Courtney did a good job getting to Tamian the ball. That's Tamian's first bucket. They need Trent to carry him, John Clark Bonamo as well.
Bridgehampton coach Carl Johnson takes a 20-second timeout. 3:45 left in the first half. Bridgehampton with a 24-15 lead. Center Richards comes into this game 19-1 overall. As we mentioned, undefeated in League 7 play, 14-0. They've won 15 straight games. The only loss that the Red Devils have suffered on the season was way back early on against Northport. And Bridgehampton comes in 16-3 overall, also going undefeated in League 8, 14-0. Their 3 losses came to Westhampton Beach back in the Eastern Suffolk Officials Holiday Classic. They also lost to Forest Hills from Queens and to Roosevelt, Nassau County team. So their losses have been from teams either higher in classification or out of the area altogether.
Right, you see Center Richards, that possession switched to a zone defense and went to a 2-3 look. Bridgeham still secured the rebound and a loose ball. Coach Johnson's not happy right now with the turnovers that they're committing. Bridgeham playing man-to-man.
Pritchard on the outside. Trent from downtown. Tamian Trent. 24-18 as Senator Richards creeps back into the game. Senator Richards fans yelling for defense. Nick Fletcher back in the game for Bridgehampton, number 24, missing. And a turnover traveling against Von Brunsberg.
Tamian Trent starting to pick up his level of play right there. Sat out last year, so he's lacking on a little experience in this gym. His 5 quick points and that big rebound right there. He's skied for that one. Bridgeham's going to have to key on Tamian and Courtney.
Ronnie White down the lane. Draws the foul.
How many fouls is that now on Breathway?
I think we'll see in a moment. One good thing about being here at Stony Brook, they post the player and the number of fouls he has on the overhead scoreboard.
Nothing's going to come easy when you go in the paint, though. Both teams contested any layup opportunity. So if you're going inside, you're going to get fouled hard. So get used to playing and making those bust-up layups with contact.
Ronnie White at the line for 2 shots, averaging 12 points a game. Manning leads the way for the Killer Bees, averaging over 19 a game. Manning with the putback. Red Devils not boxing him out, and Manning able to tip it back in. So in essence, a 3-point play for the Killer Bees, giving them a 27-18 lead.
Red Devils got to do a much better job getting physical boxing out. Bridgeham's killing them on the boards right now.
Bonamo from downtown. Rebound batted around. Comes to Lanham. Gets fouled underneath.
Lanham's been a factor, Ed. Every time he's come in the game, he's done good things. You see him securing that rebound and getting fouled.
We look at the rosters for these two teams, Brian. Bridgehampton, a lot of seniors in their lineup who have played together the last few years. Manning a senior, Pikett a senior, Walker a senior, Furman a senior, Matt White a senior, Nick Letcher coming over from East Hampton this season, also a senior. You see a mix of old and younger players with St. Maurice's. You got Bonamo, a senior, Braithwaite, a senior, but then you have Pritchard, Trent, Lanham, all sophomores, so they're going to be around a couple more years.
How about Von Braunsberg?
And Von Braunsberg, a junior.
Ooh.
So they'll have a lot coming back.
Right.
But they have, you know, a lot of players today who are going to gain a lot of experience too and be able to use it again next year.
Well, again, we're in the county playoffs. They're still in the States, so you know, Center has a lot to look forward to. They're going to be a factor in the C's next year, no doubt. But I think all the people at Bridgeham loses. Once again, they lose a lot of people. And that gives a ray of hope to the other Class D schools. We'll see how that turns out.
Manning inside with the putback. St. Maurice's unable to keep Bridgehampton and Manning in particular off the boards, and they've been capitalizing on it.
They must need 2 people on him.
Tamian Trent knocks down a 2-point basket. 29-20, Bridgehampton.
They should really, well, I don't know what your philosophy is going to be, but, I mean, Ed, would you double team Manning or not?
Well, you might want to try it, see what happens. Walker missing on the jumper and a foul on the rebound, and it's against Bridgehampton.
You're going one and one here? 1 and 1. You know, the luxury that Bridgeham has this year is they can give up fouls because they're a deeper bench. You know, they have a lot of fouls to give now.
Carl Johnson has 9 players that he does not have a problem putting out in the court and has confidence in them, so their rotation is a lot deeper, and that's only going to help them, as you say, giving fouls and just playing a more aggressive style. That's 22, 6-foot sophomore for Bridgehampton. Paul Jeffers getting his first action, I believe. Nice pass inside. Ronnie White with the basket. 31-20 Bridgehampton as we approach the 1-minute mark left in the first half. The 221s matching up. Manning and Trent buries a 3-pointer over Manning. The sophomore showing no fear.
I tell you what, Pritchard with the steal. Manning now, you see the little contestment with Trent. There's a little up and shift going.
Pritchard from way outside off the mark. We've seen him make those kind of shots, however. Ronnie White in transition, scoring for Bridgehampton. Big momentum shift there. Pritchard had made that. Would have been a big boost for St. Maurice's. Instead, Bridgehampton scored. Ball rolling out of bounds. It will belong to St. Maurice's. 15.4 seconds left in the first half. A 10-point Bridgehampton lead, 33-23. Pritchard knocked to the court before the ball was thrown in. Dead ball foul against Bridgehampton. Tripping is called. Maurice Manning picking up the personal. And Maurice talking to Jim Huey about that. His second personal. Pritchard will be at the line for a 1-and-1, 19 foul against Bridgehampton. I checked that. That was the 10th team foul. They just posted it on the scoreboard. So with the 10th team foul, it's 2 shots, shooting or non-shooting. So St. Maurice is able to edge closer. Two for Pritchard, an 8-point Bridgehampton lead. Pikett. Ronnie White launches one from downtown and hits. Ronnie White, an unexpected source of a 3-pointer, makes it. Trent at the buzzer, just shy of the rim. So we've come to the end of the first half of play in this Suffolk County Class CD game. With the score, Bridgehampton 36, St. Maurice's 25.
18-18? No.
Second half of play about to begin here from Stony Brook University. Ed Zabrowski along with Brian Deneen and director videographer Paul Sparrow. Halftime of the Class CD game for Suffolk County with Class D champ Bridgehampton holding a 36-25 lead over Class C champ Santa Riches. I'd like to thank once again Steve Laurie, studio manager back at Peconic Bay Television Channel 27, for his generous sponsorship of this game. We don't want to scare people away by turning around, so we'll just face towards the court, I think.
I know what you mean. Story of the first half, though, Ed, I think is Ronnie White. He played real big for Bridgeham on the boards and in the scoring column. Total 12 points, as well as Maurice. I mean, that's a given. I mean, you can't take it for granted that Mo's always there. Big games, Mo is always there. He's so consistent. Maurice and Ronnie White are carrying Bridgeham, and they're doing a good job attacking the boards. A lot of people have scored on their ledger, on their side of the ledger. Ron White has 12. Maurice Manning has 12. Tat Pikett has a 3 with 3 points. Furman, B.J. Walker, Kareem Coffey, and Paul Jeffers each have 2. They have 2 threes, Bridgehampton. They shot 2 for 4 from the free throw line. Santa Riches, on the other hand, they were led by Trent and Pritchard. Trent had 10, mostly in the second quarter, I believe, 10 second quarter points. Courtney Pritchard had 12 points. But the story there is they shot 3 for 9 from the free throw line, so they didn't shoot well from the free throw line. And they've held John Bonamo in check. He has no points. He's not contributing the way he usually does.
That was a similar fate that befell Bonamo in the Class C game against Babylon. I believe he was scoreless for the first half, but then came alive in that second half, helping Santa Riches to the Class C title. Traveling call on Manning, who is turning around in disbelief looking at the officials after he scored.
I want to let you know Eric Lanham, the Tuckahoe student years ago, in the Southampton district, transferred to Santa Riches. He had 2, and Sean Breathwaite has 2. Breathwaite has 2 fouls. Maurice Manning and Charles Furman have 2 fouls apiece.
And Breathwaite make a strong move inside, but he was not able to score. Manning pops the jumper. Letcher missing, and a second try by Letcher, and he's fouled.
Yeah, you know, Bridgeham has this nice lead, and Letcher hasn't even been helping him in a big way yet, so maybe he's going to step up now here, and Bridgeham, or with him taking over on the glass and starting to run things, that'll make Santa Riches' task a lot more difficult.
Letcher averaged just under 10 points during the season as he gets the first to drop through. Well, Santa Riches had a good second quarter as far as staying in the game. You know, they were outscored by 10 in that first quarter, 18-8. Only outscored by a point in that second quarter, and that was because of the late three-point basket by Ronnie White, which came right with just a few seconds left in the first half, giving Bridgehampton a 36-25 lead. So Santa Riches facing a double-digit deficit here as play begins in the second half, and it's going to be an uphill climb.
You know, Bridgeham's doing a great job rebounding and keeping the ball alive on the offensive glass. They're just killing center on the board.
Trent's jumper, long rebound taken by Manning.
You know, going in at halftime, that Ronnie White 3 was a big momentum booster for Bridgeham.
Ball loose under the basket. Von Brunsberg comes away with it, outlet to Bonamo. Manning outguarding Trent. Pritchard working off a screen. Floater in the lane is good.
Nice two-man game. Tamian playing with composure, and Courtney rolling off that pick right there, the Tamian set. Tamian, like Clarence Trent, wide body, sets a good pick. Nice two-man game with Pritchard and Trent. Center looking like they're playing a little 3-2 zone look here.
Walker, short from the outside. Foul on the rebound.
Oh, my
against Center Riches.
Oh, my goodness. They caught him right in front of him, I guess. I'm not saying nothing, Ed. You keep me restrained.
You have your mic and I have mine.
That's right. No, you got to keep your hands out. You got to use your forearms boxing out, though. But you got to let him box out.
Manning from outside shoots an air ball. That's a rare occasion. Trent looking to create on the outside, spins in the lane, just catches the front of the rim. Trent, big play to get that loose ball. Von Braunsberg, also a good play, and then a foul against Bridgehampton. Red Devils hustling after those loose balls. Foul on Walker, his second. Bonamo will inbound right in front of our broadcast location. Jim Huey, the official, handing the ball in. He is joined today by Dick Solby, pair of veteran officials. Braithwaite with the rebound inside, and he is able to draw the foul against Bridgehampton.
It's one of the few instances this game when Stony has gotten an offensive rebound and control the board.
Well, Bridgehampton during the season was very adept at getting those second and third shots, rebounding on the boards, and for the most part today, they've been able to do that again, which is a large reason why they've been successful and why they have the lead they have at the present time. Sean Braithwaite.
Free throw shooting woes continue for Mauritius. Got to lift your elbow, get right back down to basics. When you got a different gym and a big background, you know, you got to get right down to the basics again. You know, lift your elbow, get up on the balls of your feet. Follow through.
Braithwaite knocks down the second. 38-28, 10-point lead for the Killer Bees.
You know, this gym, these rims are so hard in this gym that you got to swish the ball to get it to go down. You know, I mean, the ball, you have to hit the rim with your shot. It is not forgiving. So
not too many cheap baskets.
You got some stiff rims here.
Pritchard into the front court, guarded by Charles Furman, number 31. Bonamo still unable to find some shooting room. Pritchard with the nice penetration, but he'll be called for traveling. Bridgehampton looks like they, I should say, Sam Richards with a little bit of pressure. Manning to Letcher for the easy two.
Sweet play right there, athletic play by Letcher. Holding that double pump in the air. Good finish.
Trent with the lean in, gets his own rebound. Shot knocked away by Bridgehampton. And a foul against Von Braunsberg of Stony.
Another pusher foul by Stony.
Brian, have you noticed the size of the court curtailing, say, Bridgehampton's tendency to maybe full court press a lot, because that might enable a pretty quick Stony team to take advantage of it?
I think that has something to do with it, but they're spreading the court. That wasn't their game plan to come in here and press, and they knew it. They just wanted to play sound, half-court, man-to-man.
Play straight up and
straight up
hard.
Half-court, man-to-man. I think you'll notice a bigger difference when West Ham comes on, and you have more space. That might work against West Ham because they like to trap, so they're going to have to really move a lot more on this court.
Getting used to the space of the court, right? Might have a bearing on your position. Furman from downtown. Braithwaite up for the rebound. We should mention that we're going to be here. Wait a moment here. Lanham underneath is fouled. Non-shooting foul. We're also going to be videotaping the Suffolk County Class B final game, which will immediately follow this game here at Stony Brook. Of course, you may not see it immediately after this game when you watch it on videotape. Westhampton Beach will go against Harborfields for the Suffolk County Class B title. So we'll have that game also for you here on Channel 27.
He's trapping the backcourt. Bridgeham did a good job.
Manning's three off the mark. Pike it with the rebound, gives to Furman. Tip up no good. Letcher is tied up with Pritchard, and a held ball is called.
Bridgeham just going after the offensive glass. They're keeping the ball alive. They're getting many opportunities, second, third. Many looks at the hoop. A lot of opportunities.
Letcher, a 6'2 senior, has very good leaping ability, aside from being a tall player. Furman with some nice spin moves. He rebounds his own miss, only to lose it into the hands of Pritchard. 3:30 left, third quarter. 12-point Bridgehampton lead, 40-28. Furman, nice hustle, saving it to Bonamo, however. Pritchard to the basket. Blocking foul called, and the basket. Foul call against Letcher, who tried to get position against Pritchard, could not. And an excellent play by Pritchard to get that shot to go down along with the foul.
Tell you what, Pritchard is stepping up big. Making a big play right there. He's inserting himself right now as being one of the better players in the county.
I think you can make a good case for that.
Yeah, the way he's played down the stretch, you know, I haven't seen him that much. I don't know him that well as a youngster, you know, but...
Santa Maria getting the ball off the missed free throw, and Eric Lanham making a basket. So 4 points on that trip down the court for the Red Devils. And they're back within 8, 40-32 Bridgehampton.
Tell you what, Ed, John Bonamo gets moving, hits a three.
Turnover. Pritchard to Trent, who cannot connect on the floater. Letcher with the rebound, and he is fouled. Big play there as it looked like Trent was going to have an excellent scoring opportunity. He was not able to convert, and then a foul against Sam Richards on the rebound.
It's a case of Bridgeham's quickness, rotating to the ball and contesting that layup opportunity. Layups and free throws are key. Center couldn't convert that layup, and they're having problems shooting free throws, and that's why you see them looking at an 8-point deficit.
Manning from downtown, off the mark. Coffey with the rebound to Letcher, who puts it back in. Nick Letcher gives Bridgehampton a 10-point lead, 42-32. 2:20 left, third quarter. Trent from downtown. Lanham with the rebound. Knocked away by Pikett. Big defensive play by the senior. Matt White from downtown rims the basket. Lanham outlet to Bonamo.
I tell you what, Eric does a lot of good things out there on the court for center. He's just got to keep the ball up high.
Braithwaite, the basket, and the foul.
He gets in trouble when he brings the ball down low. You know, does a great job of that is Dwayne Sanders. He gets the rebound and keeps the ball up high, and his elbows are out wide. You don't want to go in and get bashed in the mouth with that elbow. Does a good job fundamentally keeping the ball up in the air. I like to see Eric improve when he rebounds. Don't get tied up with the little guys, bringing the ball down low.
Well, he's 6'4", and height is something that Santa Maria can certainly use. Just a sophomore, so he'll be around a couple more seasons. That's been one thing that has plagued the Red Devils at times in some of their games in the playoffs, the lack of height. It hasn't really hurt them during regular season play that much. But you go against some other Class C schools, the Nassau teams. It happened last year when they faced Wheatley. You had a big guy inside who Sam Richards was not able to contend with, and they were soundly beaten. They're going to hope, of course, for better things this year.
Tell you what, Santa Richards putting a little bit of dent in the lead, and that's without any contribution from Maurice scoring points. So Coach Johnson's got to be a little bit concerned. We get Maurice on track and get a little rhythm going. He knocks down a couple threes. Bridgeham is going to pull away.
Braithwaite knocks down his first free throw. 2 for 2 for Braithwaite. Santa Maria, the closest they've been in a while. Just a 6-point Bridgehampton lead, 42-36. 1:45 left, third quarter. We are seated on the side where the Santa Maria fans are, so you're likely to hear them a lot more.